Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you once again for joining me on my channel, Life Without Limits. I want to thank you for sparing me your time and to listen to some of these teachings that we actually started on the 1st of January this year, 2019. And we've been looking at a topic which we have titled The Essence and the Value of Time. We've covered quite a lot of ground. And in our last message, we looked at two vital things under the principle of hard work. We've been looking at time, how best we can maximize time, especially this new year 2019. We're looking at how you can take advantage of time, how you can invest your time wisely, how you can leverage time. And we've looked at two principles. And the first principle we looked at was the principle of planning. We looked at how you should plan, why you should plan, the benefits of planning. We've also looked at the characteristics of time and how time affects you, how time can make you great, and how people waste their time. So if you want to get details of our discussion, I want to encourage you to go to the previous video, part 1 to part 6 of the video. Actually, in part 6 of the videos, looking at the second principle of how we can actually maximize our investment of time, we looked at the principle of hard work. And I know the last time we talked about two key things that will help us understand what hard work is, because a lot of people have a misconception of hard work. People see hard work as a negative thing. Some see hard work as a cause. Something that life can be lived on the fast track. You can actually make it in life without actually working hard. But you see, that's a wrong conception in life. So last time we actually looked at things that we must know about time to have a different perspective, and we mentioned quite a couple of things. I encourage you to check the video out. We also looked at why we must apply the principle of hard work to our lives, and we saw a couple of benefits why hard work is necessary and why hard work is a must. Today we shall be rounding up the topic about time. We shall be rounding up the series about the essence and the value of time. This is going to be the last broadcast on that particular topic, and I will be rounding up by continuing from where we stopped in our last broadcast, and that's talking about the principle of hard work. So today we shall be looking at how we can apply the principle of hard work. Remember, I talked about the difference between work and job. This is something very important I want you to get. I said in my last broadcast that there is a key difference between work and job. A lot of people misunderstand it too. I was in that place myself. While I was growing up, I never saw any difference between work and job. But you see, there is a clear difference. Looking at the Word of God and actually looking at the nature of work, you discover that work is actually not job. Like I said in my last video, job is something that another man gives to you, accepts you, and pays you what he thinks you are worth per hour, per week, or per month. So your job is actually a man, another man, assessing you, weighing you, and determining what you are worth. And he pays you based on what he believes you are worth. That is job. Work is different. We saw in our last video that work was actually the first thing that God gave to man when he created man in the Garden of Eden. He blessed man and told man to be fruitful. So we saw that work is not a curse but a blessing, because you can never become fruitful until you apply hard work. We saw that God was also a worker, and God never ceased to work. So we must also work. Now, work is actually a tool that God has given to man to actually fulfill his divine assignment on earth, to fulfill his purpose on earth. Because when God created man, he says, let them have dominion. Now he knew that man, it is impossible for man to have dominion until man begins to apply the principle of hard work. So what he did was he took man, placed man in the garden to do what? To work and to keep it. So work is a tool, work is a means via which we can actually accomplish the assignment that God has given to us and fulfill our purpose on earth. So today I shall be looking at how we can actually begin to apply work within the context of purpose, within the context of discovering our assignment, within the context of discovering and fulfilling our purpose, within the context of the mission and assignment that God has given to us. And we shall be also looking at the consequences of not working hard. And we'll wrap up the series for today. So going back to the discussion of work, like we've been saying, work is a tool that God has given to you to actually fulfill your divine purpose and divine assignment here on earth. Now, how can you actually go about applying the principle of work to actually fulfill your purpose? It is very important and it is very vital that we ask probing questions. They say the quality of the questions you ask will determine the quality of the answers you get. Now, to go about applying the principle of hard work in fulfilling your purpose on earth, to make use of hard work as a tool that God has given to you, you must ask some very probing questions. In fact, there are 5 questions that I consider the most important question any man, any woman can ask him or herself while on earth. And these 5 questions are these. The first question is, who am I? This question, who am I, speaks of your identity. Until you know yourself, you can never fulfill purpose. Until you know who you are as a person, you can never fulfill purpose. The second question is, where am I from? It speaks of origin. It speaks of source. Now, I've seen a lot of people who go through life traumatized and dejected, depressed. Why? Because they did not know their source. Now, some people handle it differently because they stumbled upon some very good and positive information while growing up. But you see, the issue of origin matters a lot. If you don't know who you are and you don't know where you are from, it affects you a lot. And you see, I say that until you know where you are from, it will be difficult for you to actually know who you are. It's not impossible, but it will be very, very difficult. So that's the second thing we need to know. Where am I from? The third question we should be asking ourselves is, why am I here? Why am I here? The first question is, who am I? Who really are you? Do you know yourself? Do you know your identity? I'm not talking of your profession, because a lot of people, you ask them, who are you? And they say, I'm a doctor. No, a doctor is a profession. That's not who you are. Oh, I'm a musician. No, that's what you do. I'm a pilot. No, that's your job description. I'm not talking about job description. I'm talking about your true essence as a human being. Who are you as a human being? Who are you? The second is, where are you from? Do you know your source? Do you know your source? The third question is, why am I here? Where did I come from? Why am I here? What am I doing in planet Earth? The question of purpose. Why am I here? Why was I born? What was I born to do? And that brings us to the fourth question you must ask yourself. What can I do? Was I born into this earth to accomplish a purpose? What is that purpose? What can I do? And it speaks of potential. What are my potentials? And the fifth question you must ask yourself is, where am I going to? Because you see, everybody had a day that they were born, and everybody will have a day they will die. Now the question is, if you don't know where you came from, how can you know where you're going through? So you need to understand that these questions are very important for you to ask. And for you to ask this question, I guarantee you it takes work, hard work. Have you ever tried locking yourself up in a room for days? Sometimes for a day or 2 days, no distraction, you're just all by yourself. I tell you the truth, for a lot of people, that is one of the most difficult things they can ever do, to be in isolation, to be in solitude. It takes work, hard work. Now, when I talk of hard work, I'm not actually talking of physical exertion. I'm not talking of physical work. I'm not talking of pushing a truck or carrying a bag of rice. Most of the hard work I'm actually talking of is mental work. How well do you put your brain to use? How well do you actually exert your brain? That is hard work. Some of the hardest work you will ever do is brain work. Do you know that your brain can also give birth? You've heard of people say, this is my brainchild. Why? Because it was birthed by their brain. Because they succumb their brain to hard work. They put themselves under torture. While others are sleeping, they are busy working hard. They are reading, they are researching, they are coming up with ideas until they give birth to an idea and they call it my brainchild. So when I talk of hard work, I'm not just referring to physical work. I'm talking primarily mental work. So this is why you must begin to ask yourself these questions. And it takes work, hard work, mental work for you to begin to get answers to these questions. That is one way we can begin to apply the principle of hard work into our life. Now, just before I talk about the consequences of not working hard, let's look at ways that you can actually begin to get answers to some of these questions. Like the answer of purpose. Why am I here? You can begin to ask yourself some deep questions. In isolation, in solitude, you can begin to ask yourself, what are my gifts? What are my talents? What gifts do I have? What talents do I have? You begin to note them down. You begin to write them down. Now you begin to ask yourself, what are my passions? There are some things you are just passionate about. You cannot tell why. It could be because of the experiences you've had in the past. It could be because of some of the things that you've witnessed in society. You just have the passion to do something about it. That could be a pointer to what your purpose is and what your assignment is. For some, it could be the things you hate that you want to change. You see some things and it's so painful, it's so hurtful, you hate it so much. That could be a pointer of some of the things that God has put you on planet Earth to solve. And one other way is that you can begin to look at the things you actually love. What are the things I love doing? What are the things I can do without getting paid? That I can do it naturally. The things that just flow naturally. Those are some of the things, and you can begin to look at to get a clue of what your purpose. Because you see, every man was born with a purpose, and your purpose was buried inside of you. It takes hard work to actually bring it out. The day you were born with a gift, you were born with a talent, you were born with a purpose. And you see, your gifts and your talents are actually tools that God has given you to actually carry out the mission and the assignment that He has given you on earth. So if you discover your talent, if you discover your gifts and your talent will point you to the direction of your purpose. And that's why I say you can begin to ask yourself, what are my gifts and what are my talents? But you see, all these things I am taking will require hard work. And that's one of the ways you can put the principle of hard work into effect. You begin to discover who you are and why you were born, your purpose on earth. And once you discover it, you are now apply physical and mental work into fulfilling that purpose. But it all starts from identifying who you are as an individual. The best way you can make use of time on earth, the best way you can maximize time, the best way you can invest time, the best way you can leverage time is to discover who you are, is to discover where you are from, is to discover your identity, is to discover your purpose on earth, is to discover your assignment that God has given you, and do everything within your power to fulfill it. Apply the principle of planning, apply the principle of hard work to fulfill the purpose why you were born, the reason why you come on earth. I tell you, if you live this life, if you live this world without discovering your purpose, you have lived a wasted life. It doesn't matter how much you have in your bank account. It doesn't matter the amount of cars you have driven. It doesn't matter the amount of countries, the number of countries you visited. It doesn't matter how popular you are. It doesn't matter how famous you are. It doesn't matter the amount of wealth you have amassed. I say, if you die without fulfilling your purpose, if you die without carrying out the mission why God has sent you into this world, you would have lived a purposeless and a wasted life. So it is very important that you discover your purpose and do everything to fulfill it. And the ways you can do that is to begin to maximize your time. Maximize your time. And to maximize your time, you must invest it. You must leverage it. And to do that, you must apply two principles that we've talked about. The principle of planning and the principle of hard work. Now, in closing, let's just go through quickly some of the consequences of not applying this principle of hard work. The first consequence is poverty. If you don't work hard, you will definitely be poor. We've looked at the scripture in the Bible, Proverbs 14:23. If you don't work hard, poverty will knock on your door. Secondly, illiteracy. One of the reasons why a lot of people are illiterate is because they lack this principle. They don't apply hard work. You see them even while they were in school, the days they were in school, others are busy reading, others are busy learning, applying hard work. They were just busy playing. Some refuse to go to school because they think it is too difficult. I can't subject my brain to that amount of work, and they end up becoming illiterate. One other reason, a lot of people fall into the trap of get-rich-quick schemes. Why? Because they don't want to work hard. They want it the fast way. They want the fastest route out. But you see, life does not work that way. God has set out some principles and some laws. And one of the principles he has set out in life is the principle of hard work. Even the Bible says, he that will not work, let him not eat. It is a principle. So if you're always looking for a fast way out, you're always looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, I tell you, you will fall into the trap and you'll be ruined. So begin to apply hard work. Begin to make hard work a second nature in your life. Refusing to work hard will lead to failure in achieving your dream. We've highlighted on it. If you refuse to work hard, your dream will never come to pass. You will only be a daydreamer. You will only be a dreamer, a mere dreamer. But your purpose and your dream will never come to pass. Without hard work, you will fail to discover your purpose, like I've mentioned. And lastly, it will always lead to you living an unfulfilled and a wasted life. So I want to encourage you today. Begin to work hard. Before I go, I want to recommend 2 books that you can buy that will be very helpful to you. It will go deeper into some of the things that we've talked about. One of the books is by Dr. Sunday. In fact, both of the books are by Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And one of the books is titled, Why You Must Urgently Become a Workaholic. And the second book is titled, Who Am I and Why Am I Here? I take the 2 books again. Why You Must Urgently Become a Workaholic and Who Am I and Why Am I Here? To close, I want to read a quote that was written by one of my friends, and it just goes to summarize all that we have been talking about. And the quote goes like this. It says, to bring to life the alchemist inside you, you need to work on, develop, and improve yourself. You are your best asset. Invest in yourself wisely and pay yourself the best interest. The more you learn, the more you earn. The more you learn, the more you earn. Your money can only grow at the speed that you grow. Commit to investing in yourself. You are worth it. If you don't value yourself, why would anyone value you? So on this note, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time, going through all the series with me from part 1 to part 7. We've looked at so many topics. I want to encourage you, if you've not watched any of the video, I want to encourage you to take out your time and watch this video, and I believe you will definitely learn a thing or two from it, and it will be a blessing to you. So I want to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you for giving me audience, and thank you for allowing me into your home today. I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, and also if you want to get future posts, you want to be notified of future posts, just hit the notification bell, and also leave your comments, good or bad. If you have any feedback, just leave your comment. I will definitely reply to you. Thank you very much, and God bless.